You're listening to Excellence Above Talent, a podcast where we have the hard conversations about the lives of men and what leads us to achieve greatness and suffer defeat. Hear from other men's journeys as well, as we all learn and grow together to become inspirations to ourselves and those around us. And now your host, Aaron Thomas.
What's up, my beautiful people? Aaron Thomas with Excellence Above Talent. I wanted to jump on today and have a conversation about cheating. This statement is a bold statement, but I stand by it. Men who cheat are cowards. I have been a coward for most of my life because I have always cheated. Cheating to me, from my perspective, was a form of screwed up communication. I felt that because my woman wasn't reading my mind and not initiating sex, that I had the right to go out and get it somewhere else without having a conversation about what's going on, without questioning my urges and trying to figure out why I felt the way I felt. It was easier just to go out and have sex with somebody else. And to me, that's what cowards do. You run from problems. You run from things that are difficult, and you find it in easier things only to create more problems. As a man, if you cannot, you're digging your pants while in a relationship, you should get out of that relationship. And the woman might try to keep you in that relationship by saying, oh, I promise I'll do this, and I'll do more. But at the end of the day, you know that you can't do it, or you know that you don't want to do it, then get out, right? You have that option. Or continue being a coward, continue hurting someone that you say you love, and go about it that way. And I've just come into this realization maybe a year and a half ago, to where, like, man, I was such a coward when it came to sex. I didn't know how to respond in a healthy way, so I went and chased all the unhealthy ways, and it created such destruction and hurt and pain that now I realized, I can't turn around and try to blame someone for why I felt the way I felt, or if I wasn't getting enough sex. I can't turn around and blame them for any of that. It's a conversation I have to have with myself of why didn't I feel the need to go and have a conversation with her to figure out what's going on, right? And I think that's just something that as men, we're not taught. Because I was taught if your wife ain't going to give it to you at home, you can always get it somewhere else. And the crazy part was, the person that you were getting it from was willing and wanting to, and sometimes the wife at home wasn't. It felt like a chore. It felt like she had to do it. It wasn't something that was mutual or we both was going to enjoy. But I also get that too. It wasn't sex back in the day wasn't for her enjoyment. It was for mine, my pleasure. And then once I got it, I'd be about my business. And I'm starting now to understand, again, how selfish that is and how much of cowardness that is when it comes to, having these conversations. And I've also realized in this process that a lot of women don't initiate, and it makes men feel some type of way. Like, why aren't you initiating like I'm initiating? But then if you go out and you start talking to other people and they're initiating and they're making you feel wanted and needed because you put yourself in a situation for some other woman to make you feel wanted and needed, and you didn't go to your wife to kind of have that conversation of, hey, is there something that I'm doing or I need to do to make you want me more? And so a lot of times, and I'll just say it in my relationship, when I felt like it wasn't initiated, or I felt like I was always initiating it all the time, it didn't feel good. Because as a man, I still want to feel like my woman wanted me. But also as a man, I had to put in the work to make her want me. And because I wasn't putting in the work to make her want me, she didn't initially, or she didn't want to initiate, which then created me trying to blame her for what I was going to do because she wasn't initiating, because she wasn't making me feel wanted. The work I could have done to help our relationship, I went and wasted my energy trying to get into somebody else's pants. And then once that happened, you come back, you know it's wrong. You know it's something you're not supposed to do. You don't need to do. You know, you're trying to go to cultivate forever with the person that you're with, the person that you're committed to. And so you begin to, feel bad, and you feel like shit because it's not something you're supposed to do. And you did it knowing that you could have put in extra work to see where she was coming from or where she was at. So moving forward in any of a relationship that I am in now, there's just that hindsight of I will never cheat because I know the pain and the hurt that comes with it. And it's not worth it. If I'm saying I want to be with someone forever, then we have to figure out a way to have the tough conversations and not run from the tough conversations. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have them while they're little, when they become big, you will have them. You don't get to run away from those tough conversations. Some conversations get a lot bigger if you don't handle them in the beginning. And there's a lot of things that I could have handled in the beginning that would have potentially prevented a lot of, heartache and pain caused by me. And we live in a society where cheating is now not something that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's just something that it happens way more often than it should. And guys are doing it, women are doing it, everyone's doing it. And it seems to be like, okay, as long as you don't get caught. Or because I felt this way, or because he wasn't doing this, or because she wasn't doing this, I found it somewhere else. And we're not having the tough conversations of, hey, I'm feeling this way, I need this help, or I need that help. With our partners, we go and we try to confide into other people who necessarily don't really care about us, but then we give them more power and more insight. And then we find ourselves falling for the person that we're talking to versus the person that we should be talking to. So to me, it's a crazy thing. But I also know that this could potentially start a conversation for men to stop being cowards, to stop being selfish. And if you feel like the person you're with isn't giving you what you need, walk away. You don't have to cheat on anybody. If you're not getting your needs met from a person that you feel should be meeting your needs, one, if you haven't talked about it and had a conversation about what it is that you're wanting and needing, then you can't be upset or angry at her for not knowing. And two, if you tell her and she doesn't feel like she needs to, then you walk away. Because to me, it only gets worse. If you're telling her something that you're needing or wanting, and she's not doing it, then you're going to start to feel a sense of entitlement of she ain't giving it to me, and I'm telling her about it. Like, what the hell? And then you start to find ways to go and get it from, relieve whatever stress or relieve what you need to relieve from other avenues. Porn is always one that people go to, and then, once porn gets born, you want to go and physically feel it. So to me, it's super important to communicate your needs sexually and stop assuming that people are mind readers and they're going to mind read, hey, when you want it, because that simply ain't going to happen either. So as men, gotta stop being cowards. You gotta stop. To me, this is just me. If you have a wife and you're liking girls' photos that are clearly looking for attention, that's a problem. Skimpy, bathing suits, titties out, butt out, and you're liking those pictures, to me, that also creates a space where cheating could happen as well. It becomes dangerous because what are you looking at? What are you searching for? Why are you liking something that isn't your wife and who you don't know? Now, if it's a friend and you know her, I don't know, it could be an issue. But just random girls on the internet that you're liking their pictures on, I think that's weird as shit too, because it creates an appetite for more. What are you looking for? Why are you looking at that? And then once you start liking stuff, Facebook, Instagram, these people are smart. Then all that you're going to see from that moment forward is ass and titties. So to me, the reason why a lot of men cheat and the reason why I cheated was, one, because I could and I knew I could. Two, there was a level of miscommunication on my part that as a man, I didn't try to fix. I was okay with being misunderstood because that gave me an out to go and find something somewhere else. And three, I was running from issues that I knew needed to be addressed in a relationship. And so instead of addressing them, I ran to porn. I ran to, pictures on the internet. I ran to other women to try to alleviate whatever stress or pressure I thought I had. And in the long run, it only hurt it. It hurt more than it helped. It hurt me. It hurt the person that I was with. It wasn't necessary. And so now moving forward, if I can't have those tough conversations with the person I'm with, then I know for a fact that that's not the person I need to be with. So fellas, let's stop being cowards. Let's control our urges. Let's try to understand why we do the things we do. Let's try to understand why the women that are in our lives do the things they do. Let's try to be more understanding in this process that we call life, especially with a partner. Because if you don't fix it with her, you're going to have to fix it with the next one. Like this shit ain't going to go away. It simply doesn't go away by changing women. It's a you thing that you have to fix first before jumping into another relationship. And then it's a us thing. Let's figure this out. Because you can run from it all you want to. You can act like it's not something that you deal with if you are a person who deals with it. But at some point, it is going to get addressed, or it has to get addressed, or you're living life miserably. Because you're not happy. Like that, men can run around and say like, oh, I'm smashing all these chicks and blah, 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 but they're not happy. It's like alcohol or porn or drugs. Having sex with multiple women, you're running from something. You're not dealing with what you need to deal with. And so you think pussy is the only avenue that you got. And so you're running to that. And people are, a lot of guys look to you like, oh man, you're smashing all these chicks, like you're amazing, you're awesome, blah, blah, blah. But that man ain't happy. Trust me, he's not. So it's important to stop running from it all and just, face it head on. Figure it out. Because at some point you're going to have to figure it out. And why wait till you're 50 and 60 and 70 to figure this shit out? Why not figure it out when you're younger? So your life becomes a little more easier versus going through all that heartache, hurt, and pain. And then finally at the ripe old age of, 60 or 70, you get it. Let's get it now. Let's try to understand it now so that our wives and our kids will be protected from our craziness. So if anyone hasn't told you today that they love you, let me be the first to say I love you. You're awesome. You're amazing. You deserve the best that this world has to offer. Do not give up. Do not quit. The world does not get easier, but you get stronger. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And for daily, motivational, and up-to-date content, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Excellence Above Talent. And remember, keep moving forward, never give up, and you are never alone in this battle. We'll see you next time.